Hello and welcome to Culture Shark, a live stream about all things pop culture. We've been gone a while, but we are back. I'm Final Monkey,
And I'm Caleb.
and today we have our special guest back with us, Wreckship85. Wreckship, how you doing?
I'm all right. Just my neck of the woods and Caleb's too. It's freezing. It's freezing cold.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been quite a week as far as uh, snow goes, and if I could, we don't really do a weekend check-in because it's been maybe 2 months because of the holidays and and all that. But the cabin fever set in about 2 hours after it started snowing. I shaved my beard in a weird way. I started watching women's soccer. uh, so that is how I deal with cabin fever myself, is not well.
Yeah, we were the break in January was always planned. We just ended up taking it a little bit earlier than planned in December. We had life happened,
Yeah.
and so we had to take the break a little earlier. But we are back. We will announce that the show is going to be bi-weekly from here on out. So there will not be an episode next week, but there will be one the week after. So, um, all right. So today we're doing one of my favorite things we do on the show, the Lifeboat. If you've never seen Lifeboat, think Noah's Ark. And the way I say it is, there's been some type of apocalypse. We've lost all of our entertainment, and we have AI robots that are going to rebuild the entertainment for us. But these AI robots have limited memory. They can only remember so many characters. So today we're doing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and this robot can only remember 25 characters. So if this robot doesn't remember those 25 characters, those characters are gone forever. So which 25 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle characters would we keep? Now, Caleb and I are both big TMNT fans.
Fun
Uh,
fact: it looking back on it, I think the reason I'm a fan is because of your indoctrination.
definitely, definitely.
You're the
Uh,
one that got me all of my action figures. They all came from you and Auntie.
yeah. If you don't know, I'm Caleb's uncle, so yes, I raised him on Star Wars and Ninja Turtles. So yeah,
I am not his uncle.
yeah. So Rexship85 is not. He's just kind of a casual turtle fan, so he's going to be kind of our tiebreaker vote today. And we got to
In a
convince
in a
him
way,
which
yeah.
characters to keep.
In a way, this is kind of I guess kind of a spin-off or a sequel to our GI Joe one, where I was actually in Rex Ship's place where they were trying to convince me of GI Joe. So, Jonathan, if I may remind you, I said yes to the green guy with the sword.
The green guy.
If that teeters your choices either way, just remember I said yes to the green guy with the sword.
Listen, my goal today is to just make sure only 3 out of the 4 turtles make it.
Oh. Well, I got bad news for you. If Caleb and I agreed on a character, they're already locked in. So go ahead and pull up the characters that are locked in, Caleb.
Actually, you know what? He does bring up one thing. Well, let me bring it up in. If there was one turtle to get rid of, which one do you think it would be?
For me, it's Donatello.
I was
I
going to say
always found him
Donatello as well.
the least
Yeah,
interesting. Although there are a
honestly,
lot of
Donatello.
people, that Donatello is their favorite turtle. Which if it is, more
Mhm.
power to you. I'm not saying I hate Donatello. I just think he's the one that kind of falls in the background quite a bit.
Yeah, if I may say, and I want to talk about this real quick, just because obvious, like we're talking about turtles, but I feel like we're not going to get the chance to talk about the turtles themselves because they're all 4 already on the list. Um, but I actually, before Last Ronin, I would have said Mikey because Donatello and Mikey are at least historically, the background ones, like the Leonardo and Raphael are the ones that always got the character arcs, right? Um,
Sure.
but then 2012 changed that with Donatello. He was kind of, honestly, Donatello was kind of the main character of 2012, and then that kind of left Mikey until Last Ronin came out, and it's like, oh man, Michelangelo has got
Hmm.
character arcs. So we're in a, because of 2012 and Last Ronin, we are now in a space where, like, at least in my eyes, you could say one person's your favorite turtle and be totally valid. I won't question you anymore.
Yeah, no, definitely. They all have, their pluses and minuses for sure. I've always been a Leonardo guy, but yeah.
Yeah, for me it's Raphael, but so in the games I play Leonardo because Leonardo's just a really good all around character. But Raphael for me, he's the one who like tends to get a lot of the early on uh, story arcs, and I actually prefer turtles early on whenever whenever their stories are new and whatnot, and then eventually Leonardo kind of seeps into the uh, Cyclops role.
Mhm. Sure, sure.
That's really, is that what it is Leonardo Cyclops and Raphael is Wolverine? Is that it?
Pretty much. Donatello's Beast, and I guess Michelangelo would be old school Iceman, maybe
Yeah, that's what
before
I
they
was thinking.
changed his character around.
Yeah,
Um, if you know, you know.
yeah,
Wreckship 85, who's your favorite turtle?
It's typically Raph or Mikey.
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Well,
So
let's go
let's
ahead.
pull up our list. So again, the AI is going to keep 25 characters. So these are the 14 that we are considering safe. So you have
Four more.
April O'Neil. You have to have April O'Neil. She is one of the main characters, main human character, definitely.
She's probably like in a lot of stuff. She's your viewpoint character.
Yes, yeah, and she's the turtles' viewpoint character into the actual world.
Yeah.
So um, Donatello and Raphael, of course, which we just mentioned. You have to have Master Splinter. And Splinter usually has two different versions. There's either the human that turned into a rat, or it's the human's pet rat that got mutated. Do you all have a preference? Caleb, do you have a preference on which Splinter you like?
Um. So, not typically. It does kind of. It also depends on the Shredder.
Hmm.
Does Splinter want revenge on Shredder for killing his master, or does Shredder he want revenge on Shredder because of something else? For me, I grew up with the pet rat. That's what I grew up with, but I don't really have a preference.
Jonathan, do you have a preference either way?
I don't, but in my head canon, I guess it makes more sense would it be the pet rat just to be consistent with the turtles. I'm hitting my head, but
Sure. I prefer the IDW version where the turtles and Splinter were all humans in feudal Japan.
huh.
The four turtles were Splinter's sons, and they were all killed by the Shredder. And as Splinter was dying, he vowed some way they would come back and get their revenge. And then they all reincarnated into four turtles and a rat that were later mutated in modern day.
Okay, I mean, in a way, I guess that's almost
It's
like a middle
It
point.
yeah.
almost sounds like a robot chicken sketch, honestly.
I like the revenge aspect, and I like that they're actually his sons. They
Yeah.
always call him my father and stuff. So I like that relationship.
Yeah.
So 2012 version is cool too, where Splinter is Hamato Yoshi who got mutated, and Karai is actually his daughter that Shredder stole, and there's a whole thing there. So next we have the other two turtles, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and then my absolute favorite version of Casey Jones, the 2003 version.
Yeah.
Mm.
Casey Jones is, again, I think he's one of those essential characters. When you don't have Casey Jones, it just feels like something is missing. So
which is kind of, if I may, I think I actually haven't watched all of 2012, and Casey's a big part of that because he doesn't come in for like a long time, and then whenever he does come in, I don't necessarily get what they're going for.
Well, they wanted him to be closer to April's age, so there would be a love triangle between Donnie, April, and Casey, is what it was.
Sure.
But yeah, if I had two complaints with the 2012 series, it's Shredder and Casey Jones. I'm not a big fan of either of those versions.
I
But
would say my favorite is probably Elias Codius.
sure, yeah,
I love him.
yeah, he is
And
great.
I turned on USA the other day, and it was on. I think it was like Chicago PD. I'm a Law and Order guy. I've never seen the Chicago stuff, but there he was. Elias Codius is on Chicago PD now.
Yeah, he's definitely a character on there. So yeah, he's a funny character too on there. So next we have a character that technically is not a Ninja Turtle character. Usagi Yojimbo is a guest star, Stan Sakai character that he has graciously let them use in every cartoon and comics, and he's just one of those great crossover characters. So
Yeah,
we are including him, and you will see some other guest stars in our choices later on. So
he is actually so good that, like, you ask me who my favorite Turtles character is, it's probably Usagi Yojimbo, which might be cheating because he's not even Turtles character.
right. So next we have Krang, the evil brain from Dimension X, or an Utrom, depending on which continuity you are watching.
In my head, I'm kind of like putting them in the same uh in the same space because I actually like Utrom Shredder. I like that, but that's just a me thing. I recognize that.
Right. So this is Krang, the Krang from the old
Yeah,
cartoons and the
yeah,
IDW comics and so on. So
yeah.
next we have Bebop. Some people love or hate Bebop and Rocksteady. I'm a big fan. I think you have to have them. I don't like them when they're easily defeatable though. I like that they're stupid, but they have to be scary. And the IDW comics did a really good job of making Bebop and Rocksteady terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, and a hot take. Yeah, I can. I don't absolutely hate the Bay films. I don't like absolutely hate them. I think one thing that they actually did really well was Bebop and Rocksteady because they were like a huge threat in that film, and like they had to figure out how to beat them. Unlike a lot of stuff that I've seen where they're just jokes.
Yeah.
I never watched them.
I haven't watched the Michael Bay films either, but I kind of refuse on principle. But
They're not
I
horrible. Like it's, I think they're better than
Like, are
most of.
they the same level as the live action GI Joe movies in terms of like some people like it, but the hardcore fans will not?
Uh, it's different because I'm one of those who actually does like the GI Joe films.
Okay.
But at the same time, I'm not a GI Joe fan. But I also like the Bay films for the most part, and I would say I'm more of a TMNT fan. So that's a, I don't know how to answer that question.
yeah. Next we have Shredder. This is for our sake of argument, this is a Rokusaki Shredder. There's been several different versions of Shredder, but this is classic Shredder here.
Yeah, and I was instructed. Um, I was instructed by Cameron to bring up the fact that Shredder is a huge jobber in the comics, and how he dies in his first story arc and then never comes back.
Well, he comes back for Return to New York, but he's a clone. He's a worm clone. It's a whole thing. And then they kill him
Make
for
a
good at
joke,
that point.
and then they make a joke about it in Turtles Forever.
Yes, they do. Have you seen Turtles Forever, Jonathan?
Is it one of like the ones with like the physical bodysuit ones?
No, no.
No,
It's kind of like honestly, it was Spider Verse before Spider Verse because it was the 2003 Turtles, and I don't remember
basically their
why.
finale. It was their
Yeah,
final story.
Oh,
and so for so-
well,
for some
maybe I did see it. I just don't remember. The 2003 Turtles was the Turtles I remember growing up with.
well,
Been
I
a
think you would
while.
remember it because the whole point is like it was their Spider Verse where like a portal opened up to the 80s Turtles universe, and so they're hanging
Hmm.
out with the 80s Turtles, and then at the end they end up in the Mirage comics.
The
Huh.
black and white comics at the end, they have to fight Black and White Shredder, and they just they just throw garbage at him and just knock him off the building.
Yeah,
He goes down so quick. It's funny. So yeah, Turtles Forever is fantastic if you've never seen it. Big
yeah,
fans of Turtles Forever. Yeah, but Shredder was never intended to be a big time villain when they originally made Ninja Turtle comics. It was only until the cartoon. He's only in like really two story arcs in the Mirage comics, and then after that, I think Karai is Shredder after that. So
I think so. Yeah. Which, by the way, shout outs to Uncle Phil.
yes, Uncle Phil was the voice of Shredder. Uh, so we have Rocksteady, who's awesome. We have Karai, who
Karai,
is
yeah.
in some continuities she's the daughter of Shredder or the granddaughter of Shredder. Sometimes she's Splinter's daughter that Shredder raised as his own. She's a great character, sometimes hero, sometimes villain.
Yeah. She's very much kind of pseudo inspired. So for those who don't know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles broad strokes is a parody of the Daredevil comics.
Yes.
Which is why you have the Hand in Daredevil and then the Foot Clan in Turtles. Splinter is based off of Stick uh, from that. And so Karai kind of fills the Elektra role because she does kind of have like this weird tension with Leonardo. But then she's also kind of got a Talia Al Ghul thing going on because she's like the heir to the Foot Clan. And if I may say my preference, I actually do prefer her to be like the daughter of Shredder for two reasons. Because I kind of like that Talia Al Ghul thing they got going on, and even though it is weird, I also like the tension that she has with Leonardo. And in the 2003 show, it is kind of weird because it's almost like, oh, this is like my sister now. So that's my
Yeah.
preference.
Well, yeah, the 2012 series where it's actually Splinter's actual, yeah, it's daughter. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Uh, Lastly, we have one of my absolute favorite villains, Baxter Stockman. I mean, he's a bumbling fool in the original 80s cartoon, but the actual Baxter Stockman from the Mirage and IDW comics, he is maniacal maniac, and he is great.
If I
Just
may
one of the
ask,
great villains. Yes.
so with Baxter Stockman, I just included everything under Baxter Stockman in that. We are including Mousers and Fly.
Yeah, so assume that, with Shredder you get the foot soldiers, with Baxter Stockman you are getting the Mousers. And also you can kind of assume that Triceratons exist even if we don't pick one. They're out
Yeah.
there. So uh all right. So those are our locked picks. So that means we have 11 more characters we can pick, and we have a huge pool of characters to choose from. There's well over 200 characters. I could have kept adding characters all day. However, this is our pool of characters. Let me zoom back out a little. Get most of them on the screen here. Okay, so I'm gonna run through these. I'm gonna try to run through them a little quick. Top left corner, we have Angel Bridge. She's sometimes known as Shadow or Casey Jones' niece or friend, uh, depending on which continuity. She later becomes a vigilante known as Nobody, has like a cloak suit that she wears. In some continuity, she's not Nobody, but in IEW, she is Nobody. Column B, we have one of my absolute favorite characters, and they really only appear in the Archie comics, so they've had a couple cameos. Is Cuddly the Cowlick. This is a giant floating cow head, and he can transport you anywhere in time and space. Well, mostly space, but you have to climb inside his mouth to be transported, and he spits you out once you get to wherever you're going. It's weird. I love it. And it's so bizarre, but it's such a cool image and such a cool TMNT thing. Please make a toy of him. I beg of you. Column C, Chrome Dome. This was one of my favorite action figures as a kid. Story wise, I haven't done a whole lot of stories with, but this is it's kind of like a robot shredder samurai type of character. Column D, we have Venus. Venus is a very controversial character during the TMNT Next Mutation. She was the fifth turtle, I believe.
Yes.
And that was very controversial. There have been several female turtles over the years, but she was kind of the OG. And in the latest version of IDW, she's kind of like a Frankenstein character that was rebuilt by a mad scientist. So that's the picture I have here is the IDW version.
Mm-hmm.
Column E, we have a 2003 character, Hun. It was when he was introduced, and now he's just kind of become a mainstay. In the IDW comics, he is the father of Casey Jones, and he is drunk and abusive and is usually the head of the Foot Clan. Column F, I don't know if this character even has a name, but this is the
Head thug.
The head thug of the Foot Clan in the first TMNT movie, played by Sam Rockwell.
Played by Sam Rockwell.
Let us know if you want menthol cigarettes or not. So they were bad teenagers because they were handing out cigarettes. So I don't know if he'll make it through. We'll see.
I will fight.
Caleb has some weird choices here. So
I do.
Column G is the Fugitoid. He is one of the oldest Ninja Turtle characters. Actually, I think they created Fugitoid before they created Ninja Turtles. So he's one of their first creations. He is a professor that had developed teleportation technology that the Triceratons wanted, and they killed him over it, and he transferred his consciousness into a robot, and now he's a fugitive, hence the Fugitoid, and he usually asks the turtles for help. Then we have, in column H, Agent Bishop. He is usually kind of like your Men in Black type character. He is the Earth's response to the Ninja Turtles, the government's response. He is typically a villain. Sometimes and I don't know if I'm crazy about this version of him, sometimes he's actually like a little kid, like that can't grow, that is like controlling a giant body. So like the Bishop's, he's kind of like MODOK almost, like he's got the head and he has like a little tiny body underneath that's controlling armor. Not crazy about that version, but I do like him in the 2003 series where he's just kind of like this constant threat that is constantly a thorn in their side. Column I is in the Archie comics. They had a spin-off title called the Mighty Mutanimals. That was we'll talk about them more in a minute, but they were a separate team of mutants that had their own adventures, and this was their villain. This is Null. He's basically the devil, and he gets off on the sorrow and torturing other people, the agony of other people. He's a big threat. He's always trying to destroy the world, and so he's basically their shredder. Next row, we have Tatsu from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. He later appears in the 2012 cartoon. So Tatsu is always a fun character. They have a gazillion figures of him at my local Walmart. I keep waiting for them to put him on clearance, and they never do. They just sit there, and it drives me crazy. Next, We have Daniel and Charles from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie. They're from the comic book adaptation where they are reconciling at the end of the movie. Again, this was a Caleb choice. They
Can
only
can
appear in this movie.
can we go ahead
So,
and say that like the like objectively one of the best versions of the Turtles is that first movie though? Like I'm not lying about that, right?
no, it is so close an adaptation of the comic books. It's one of the best comic adaptations. Other than how they defeat the Shredder, it's almost like page for page out of the comic books.
Yeah.
So, I don't even know if I have the right picture here. Which Triceraton is this, Caleb? You said it
Uh,
was.
Traximus. So Traximus is from the 2003 show, and he is a gladiator who is leading the revolution against the Triceratons, which is why his name is Traximus, because he's based off of Maximus from Gladiator.
There's another Triceraton. I cannot remember his name, Trag or Trog or something. He's the one that gets brain damage from inhaling the Earth's atmosphere, and the turtles convince him to work for them, basically. And he was always my favorite Triceraton, and he dies fighting the Shredder. He's a cool character. So the next two characters, we have Savante Romero, the demon-looking guy, and then Renee is the other character. She's a time traveler that anytime there's a Turtles in Time adventure, she's usually the one that's causing it. Although I don't know why they did not use her for Turtles 3. It's very strange. And you had this villain, and they just kind of. Turtles 3 is a very frustrating movie for me because I was like, this could have been great. And they just kind of cheaped out. I think Jim Henson died around then, and they just kind of phoned it in at that point. Like their hearts weren't in it anymore. But yeah, so these are usually your time traveling characters. She is kind of like a bumbling fool. Like she always like she doesn't know how to control the time scepter, but we know that one day she'll become like the ruler of all time. But but usually when she encounters the turtles, she's a bumbling idiot. And Savante Romero is always trying to get the time scepter from her. So next we have the Rat King, one of the great all-time Ninja Turtle villains. Usually he's just a guy in the sewers that has a rat kingdom. Sometimes he's a clone of Bishop that went crazy. Sometimes he's actually a god. In the latest IDW comics, he's like this ancient god who was like the inspiration for the Pied Piper. So that's the Rat King. Then we have Ninjara. Sometimes she's called Alopex, and sometimes she's a white Fox character, depending on which continuity. But it's all based on the same character. She is usually Raphael's girlfriend, and she originally appeared in the Archie comics.
Raphael is a furry.
Yes. Then we have the Ultimate Ninja. What's his actual name, Caleb?
Ue-sama.
Ue-sama. As far as I know, he's only in the 2003 cartoon.
I believe so. I think he needs to be in more because he's such a fascinating character.
Yeah, they're doing that fighting tournament. What's the tournament called? Do you remember?
Battle Nexus.
They're doing that story right now on IDW Comics, so I don't know if he's involved or not. I know Ninjara's back for that. So, but yeah, he is one of the main villains in that arc. He's a really cool character, and then he ends up combining with a dragon. It's been so long since I've seen the 2003 series, but they get merged together, and it's a really cool story.
Draco.
Draco, yes, thank you. By the way, a while back, a few years ago, if you go onto Sporkle, which is a quiz website, there's a quiz out there I made called the Ultimate TMNT Character Quiz, and it's like 200 questions. I cannot even remember the answers to the questions. and I made the quiz. So if you think you're an Ultimate Turtle fan, go out there and check out that quiz. It is very difficult. It's like all the different continuities, all the characters. So next we have Max Winters. He is the villain in the fourth Ninja Turtle film, the CGI film. I vaguely remember this character, but Caleb put him on the list. So so here we go.
I mean, I legitimately think that's a really good movie.
It is. I have not seen it in years. So
yeah. I mean, like, if I may, that might be the best representation of Leonardo and I know that I'm talking about Max Winters. I put Max Winters on here for more representation of that film, so that film still exists,
yeah.
in a way. But I mean, it's the best representation of Leo and Raph's relationship.
Sure. Next we have Sharel. Sharel, if you don't know, is the Shredder in the 2003 version. They find out that the Shredder is just a suit of armor being controlled by an Utrom. He is scary and terrifying, and he ends up being the ultimate villain of Turtles Forever at the end. He is one of my favorite versions of the Shredder. Next, we have basically most of this next row is the Mutanimals. So we have Jaguar, and I'm realizing a character is missing from this list. Wingnut and Screwloose did not get copied over.
Oh
Oops,
no.
my bad. Well, I'll add them here in a minute.
Making it.
Jaguar is basically his mom was a human and his father was the jaguar god. So he's like a hybrid of a human god type character.
He's basically
And he's the protector of the rainforest. The Archie comics were it was like Captain Planet. Back then they were very eco heavy, save the world type stories. Next we have Dreadmon. He is in column C here, he's a Tasmanian devil character that runs really fast, so he's basically like their Flash character. Then in column D, we have one of the most popular Ninja Turtle characters, Leatherhead. Leatherhead is sometimes a good guy, sometimes a bad guy, depending on the story. He's a mutant alligator, and sometimes he's from Louisiana and has a Cajun accent. So then in column E, another Mutanimal, the very popular character, Mondo Gecko. He's usually Michelangelo's skateboarding buddy. Again, one of the more popular Mutanimals. Column F, probably my favorite character outside of the Turtles. This is Slash, the turtle from Dimension X. He usually starts out as a villain, eventually will become a hero in most stories. He's just a fantastic character, one of my absolute favorites. Then my other favorite Mutanimal, Ray Fillet. He is a manta ray, and they don't do enough with this character. He is such a cool design, and he was in the first Ninja Turtle comic book I ever bought as a kid. So he was, I instantly latched onto that character. He's one of my favorites.
He is also played by Post Malone.
That movie. Oh, all right.
I like that
The one
movie.
that just did like last year.
Yeah, I just don't like what the mutant designs. They're just, ugh. And I'm like, oh, they're using Ray Fillet. Oh, what they do to Ray Fillet.
And played by Post Malone.
Yeah. Next, we have Metalhead, the robot turtle, sometimes built by Donatello, sometimes built by their friend Harold. Sometimes he works out fine, sometimes he malfunctions, he's out of control. But he's usually the fifth turtle. Speaking of Harold, next we have Harold in column I. He is Donatello's cranky, hippie scientist friend in the IDW comic books. He's a lot of fun, so I included him. Bottom row if you will allow me to add Wingnut and Screw Loose real quick. Whoops, did not mean to do that. Let's see if I can unhide these sheets down here. All sheets. Where's Wingnut Screw Loose? There you are. This was our list from our Smash Brothers episode of who should end up in Smash Brothers. So I kind of built off of that. But that's a great episode. You should go back and check it out. I'll be curious to see how closely this matches that list. So, all right, there's Wingnut and Screw Loose. They are not the best picture of them, but they are basically a parody of Batman and Robin. Wingnut is your Batman character, and then the mosquito that rides on his back is Robin. They just released a brand new toy of them. They look awesome. Their little Batman and Robin outfits are great. So I've always been a big fan of Wingnut and Screw Loose. Next, we have Old Hob. This is in the new IDW comic books, this was an alley cat that found the turtles as they were mutating. He tried to eat one of the turtles, and Splinter clawed out his eye. So he hates the turtles, and he later becomes the leader of the Mutanimals and tries to turn them into a terrorist organization. He's a really interesting villain and character, and I don't know why they haven't made a toy of him yet. He's really cool. Column C, we have Armagon the shark. He's a time-traveling shark, and he usually has like a cyborg body. He is a really fun villain. So he's a lot of fun. His design in the 2012 series is pretty cool too. Column D is another Caleb pick. We have the Power Rangers. They teamed up with the Turtles in Next Mutation, and they would later have another comic book crossover in the IDW comics. There's some weird stuff in that IDW comic. I still haven't finished reading it. I've had it for a year, and I just kind of was like, didn't finish reading it. But that's a story for another day. Column E is one of my favorite characters from the 2012 series. This is Ho-Chan. He is a parody of Lo-Pan from Big Trouble in Little China. I mean, it's literally the same character.
I mean, that's what the episode was just Big Trouble in Little China.
It was even voiced by the I can't think of his name, but the guy that played Lo-Pan voiced the character, and he's great. So I love that character. Again, where's my action figure? I love this character. So column F is another non-turtle character. This is the Flaming Carrot. He had some early crossovers with Mirage Comics. They've been trying to get him into the cartoon for years, and there's always a legal hurdle, but he almost appeared in the 2012 series.
I mean, there's a big legal hurdle. I don't get it with Flaming Carrot because, like, they did Mystery Men before Flaming Carrot, you know?
Yeah, Flaming Carrot, Mystery Men is a spin-off of Flaming Carrot. So
so
they're all the same universe. Yeah,
which is so. I'm actually surprised I didn't think of Flaming Carrot. I forgot that they had a crossover.
Yeah. Column G is the OG original Nobody. He's kind of the Ninja Turtles version of Batman. Just I think he's a cop that is a vigilante by night. They have basically two superheroes. The two main superheroes in Ninja Turtle comics is the Silver Sentry, which is their Superman character, and then Nobody, which is their Batman character. And then they have a Justice League of other characters, but they're pretty forgettable. And then Michelangelo usually joins the team as the Turtle Titan. Column H, another non-turtle character that crosses over them. This is Cerebus the Aardvark, who himself is a parody of Conan the Barbarian. He is one of the first characters to ever cross over with Ninja Turtles. And then lastly, I do not remember this character's name. Caleb, who is his last character?
Asuka. So Asuka is a character that was created specifically for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Tournament Fighter games that came out in the 90s. Originally, because Tournament Fighters was developed and kind of came out around the time of the Turtles in Time movie, TMNT 3. And so this was originally going to be Mitsu from that movie. But because of the horrible reception of that film, they quickly changed her to Asuka, and she's kind of got like a Sakura thing going on from Street Fighter, where she's like a big fan of the Turtles and like uh wants to be like them, kind of like how Sakura is a big fan of Ryu, and like Sakura learns the Hadouken because of Ryu. So she's kind of got like a Sakura vibe going on.
Cool. All right. So we've only got 11 spots. So Caleb, who
Yes.
is the one character that you absolutely think needs to be in the AI memory?
Absolutely. Okay. Ooh. Okay.
I mean, I have 3 that pop in my head. They're like, these are absolutely should be in the final roster. No questions asked.
You know, I do have a couple as well. You know, if you why don't you go first? Because I'm still deciding.
Leatherhead is a must character. He has been in every Turtle continuity. He is. I'm surprised he has not been in a movie yet. Although I guess maybe he was in those last movie. Yeah, but you know, a real version of Leatherhead, not that weird mutation version. So for me,
Okay.
Leatherhead would be the first pick.
Okay, and this one, I know I picked a lot of like funny ones. Like for an absolute, like I'm not gonna put Sam Rockwell as absolute, as much as I think that's hilarious. I have one in mind, but I'm afraid that that's gonna get me a lot of hate.
Who's your character?
So I'm just talking out loud, not necessarily just yet, but I'm just talking out loud. I kind of am thinking Venus because I love the ID. Like you put down the IDW one. That kind of is the one that I lean towards, not just because I like her story in IDW. I also like the fact that like we didn't give up on her. Like what we did in IDW is like we took a character that's super lame from the 90s that like is universally hated, and we made her like a cool character. So that is kind of what's going through my head right now.
And there is another female turtle character, Jenica, that we did not put on the list because I do not like Jenica. I do not care for Jenica at all.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't like her either. Like I mean, like if anybody wants to come at me for Venus, I present to you Jenica.
Yeah.
You know what? Out of all of these, I pick Venus. Yes.
Okay, so here's my big problem with Venus, and it's
Okay.
just because of one story from the Mirage comics, where I think it's the Bloodsucker story that is banned and they can't reprint because the guy that created Bloodsucker will not let them use that character again. The story ends with them seeing some animal species die off or the last of their kind, and the turtles realize that they are all the last of their kind. There will never be more mutant turtles because there's no female mutant turtles, so that they can't reproduce. And so there's kind of this tragedy with the turtles, that they are unique, and they, once they are gone, there will never be Ninja Turtles again. And so I like that story, you know. So I think Venus kind of breaks that story, but that's just my one issue with
Sure.
the female turtles.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, in IDW, she's not even really a turtle. She's more of a frog.
Yeah, that is true. All right, I'm going to put Venus on the maybe list. Like maybe she gets in.
So if I may pitch you like who else I was back and forth. Another pitch that I had was I love Uesama, uh, and I also love the Power Rangers. Now, I was hoping to like get you in like a um like I was hoping to juke you because when I said the Power Rangers, I was hoping you thought I meant the Space Rangers talking about the next mutation. I actually am talking about the original Mighty Morphin from the IDW because I love the TMNT Power Rangers 2 story arc. So you haven't finished the first one, so you probably haven't even looked at the second one, right?
There's some. It's too controversial for the podcast. I can tell you afterwards of why I have issues with the second one. Um, but that's a side. I've tried to explain to people online and gotten into arguments with people, and I don't want to get to an argument here. So we can talk about it
Okay.
later.
Sure. Well, the reason that I think it's so cool is just I don't know what's going through your head right now, but I love like as a Power Rangers fan, the idea that they lose their powers because they're disconnected from the morphing grid, so they take the mutagen to become the mighty mutant Power Rangers, and Jason becomes a Tyrannosaurus, and Tommy becomes a dragon,
That's great.
and like it's great. Like I love that.
Yeah, I don't because to me they're a guest star, and we already have Usagi for me, and so to me I'd rather put actual turtle characters on my list. But that's
Sure.
just me talking. And as for Uisami or whatever her name is, as far as I know, she's only in that video game. And so to me, I'd rather lean towards the characters that have been in multiple continuities
Oh well,
that
so
feel like
Ue-sama is the ultimate warrior,
the Ultimate Warrior.
the ultimate ninja.
Oh, I thought you're. I'm
No,
sorry. I thought you
no,
were talking
you
about
would think
I
Asuka.
thought you were talking about Asuka. Okay, now I'm more open to Uisama. Uisama is a cool character.
Yeah. So
Uh,
I'm between me personally. I'm between Venus and Ue-sama. If I may, Jonathan, here's what you're gonna get between me and Aaron is
Uh-huh.
he has all these characters that are like so ingrained in like lore and comic book. For me, Ninja Turtles is like all vibes, and so like I can take a character like Ue-sama, the ultimate ninja, and be like, look at how cool this character is, and then that's all I got,
You got TV and
yeah,
TV&T.
Right.
for me,
Ninja Turtles.
like I love the Miami Animals, but that's 7 characters, and so it would be hard for me to say well all 7 Miami Animals get in there. I mean, I have to be realistic here. So I'll tell you the 3 characters that I think are locks are Leatherhead, Rat King, and Slash. I think all 3 of those are like crucial, critical characters to Turtles continuity. They always show up. They're important villains, and I wouldn't want to have Ninja Turtles without those 3 characters.
So with that being said, I think I know where you were going, and then I said Venus, and then you backed off of it. What you're asking is who is like locked in. We make one choice right now. They are locked in. You wanted Leatherhead, and I wanted Venus.
Yeah, I was like Venus. I'm not saying 100% no to Venus. I'm just saying I think there's more important characters that get locked in first, and then we could talk about the stragglers.
There's one character that I think you think is important that I don't like.
And I think I know which one you're talking about, and I could argue myself out of it too. I think you're talking about Fugitoid.
I am talking about Fugitoid.
Yeah, he's a big part of the Triceratops story, but outside of that, I don't know. He's kind of like their mad scientist friend, and I'm like, yeah, Harold does the same thing, and yeah, I don't know.
And my big thing when it comes to Turtles is like I love the Battle Nexus from 2003, and that's where like my love for Traximus and Triceratons, for the most part, I don't really like it when turtles go space. Like, it's just not my jam. It's
I
not.
like the Archie version better. They're like meeting Wingnut and Screw Loose, and they're fighting alien bugs and stuff, and it's a lot more fun. And Cully the Cowlick and all that
Mhm.
wackiness. The Triceratons, they always go on for too long. The story
Mhm.
does every time, every
Well,
time.
how about this? Wreck Ship. Uh, you're not super familiar. But is there anyone on here that you think is a lock from what you think?
From my limited knowledge in this list, I'd have to say Leatherneck from Leatherhead, whatever his name is.
Okay,
Leatherhead.
Leatherhead,
all right.
yeah.
Leatherhead.
I think we all agree with that. I would think Caleb, you
Yeah.
would agree with that.
Oh yeah. I definitely agree with that.
I don't know why he's smaller now, but okay. I have fought with this Google Sheets for so much trying to get it right, and if they're missized, it's just going to be.
So with that being said, if I were to change my lock from Venus and we make her a maybe for right now, from Venus to Ue-sama, the Ultimate Ninja, what are we thinking?
let me think for a second. If I was going to pick my 11 right now, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I think Uesama would be okay. I say as I squint at the screen and kind of read the paper. I'm not quite 100% sure.
I
I'll
think
give you.
this one's gonna be the most difficult for you because you have like 100 turtles characters
Oh
in mind.
gosh, there's so many characters I left off this list, and it was very difficult to. I'll give you Uesama for now, and until we get to a point where like, oh gosh, we forgot so and so. How's that?
Okay, sure.
He's kind of tentative. We'll put him down here at the villains. Why are you doing this? Okay. All right. I think you have to have Rat King. I again, I can't picture the
So
turtles without Rat King.
I,
And again,
I need
why is he not in the movie?
well, and I'm glad you brought that up. I obviously we like obviously Jonathan is going to be the deciding factor in this, but even for me, Rat King hasn't appeared in a whole lot of my Turtles exposure.
So I mean, he's in the original comics, the Archie comics, the '80s cartoon, the 2003 cartoon, the 2012 cartoon. He's everywhere.
No,
And
yeah, I get that, and so like my exposure is pretty much just 2003. I don't remember reading the original Mirage. I don't remember where he was in that.
he's in it's not Return to New York, it's the storyline after that where Eastman and Laird both come back, and there's a story where Splinter falls and breaks his leg, and he's dying and hallucinating, and the Rat King appears and is taunting him, telling him he has to eat rats to survive. It was his first, I think that was his first appearance. He may have had an appearance before then, but that's the big storyline for the old comics. As for the '80s cartoons, he usually has ability to control rats, which is bad when your master is a giant rat. So it's usually he usually makes Splinter turn on the turtles is his main storylines. And then in the latest IDW comic book, he is like literally a god and trying to. They have a group called the Pantheon. Oh, I forgot Katsuni. Okay, okay. The Pantheon is a group of brothers and sisters that think of them as the children of a god, and they're fighting over who gets to get the power of that god.
Mm-hmm.
And so Rat King is the most devious of them. and he's like playing like this chess match against his brothers and sisters, and the turtles are stuck in the middle. So he is, to me, he's one of the main villains once you get outside of the Foot Clan.
Okay. Real quick, I want you to know that I did remember Kitsune, and I did not put her on my list.
Kitsune is another member of the pantheon. She's like the fox you see in ancient Japanese mythology. She's a shapeshifter, and she is the one that's manipulating the Foot Clan and Shredder. Like that's her chess piece, is the Foot Clan.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Uh, okay. I've gone from a no to maybe on Rat King. Jonathan, what
okay.
say you?
I mean, just from a storytelling perspective, that Rat King should be included. I guess just nothing else. It seems pretty uh, interesting to have them have to figure out how to defeat him when, like I said, their master is a rat and can be
Mhm.
manipulated by the villain. So
Yeah,
I would
it
suggest he stays, but
and
I mean,
he's another threat from the sewers. Like he's
yeah,
he's down there with the
Mhm.
turtles. He's outside of the Foot Clan. He's doing his own thing. Uh, yeah, I just think
Mhm. Yeah.
he's an important part of the mythos.
I also think it's interesting that like uh he hasn't appeared in anything like any sort of movie because if I were to guess what he's a parody of, my guess is he's a parody of Ratcatcher, and Ratcatcher's kind of been popping off in DC recently as well. So that is
Yeah, I don't know if he's a
interesting.
parody of anyone in particular. Um,
it kind of
but
seems like
yeah,
he could be like a good psychological villain for a movie
Yeah,
if they ever did it.
yeah. Well, I think that's it. Says it. Rat King, it is.
okay. So we've got 8 more spots. So I don't know what this thing is doing. Anyhow, I'm gonna leave it alone because if
So
I start messing with it, I'll be messing with the rest of the show. Um,
I if I may nominate another one,
okay.
Metalhead is cool.
Uh, yeah, he is. He's kind of like Fugitoid to me, where it's just like, okay, other than the IDW, I always go back to IDW because it is the first 100 issues are like the best Ninja Turtle story ever, and then they ruined it. But those first 100 issues, there is a story where the turtles have to team up with the Foot Clan, and to make sure they don't double cross them, they leave Bebop and Rocksteady to guard Donatello. And I don't remember exactly what happens, but they get bored and beat Donatello to death. Um, they crack his shell open, and they think he's dead, but they have to transfer his consciousness into Metalhead. So for several issues, Donatello is Metalhead running around with the turtles.
Yeah, Metal Dawn, I think is what they call him.
Yeah. So I mean that's like one of the best Metalhead stories. And then later, once Donatello gets his body back, the Metalhead goes insane, and Donatello has to hunt him down. Um, those are all fun stories. There's usually always a Metalhead goes berserk story where they have to fight Metalhead. Uh, I don't hate him. He just wouldn't be one of my top picks. I'll just put it that way. I don't hate him.
Okay, okay. Uh, hmm.
I'll tell you some of the other
So
characters that I'm thinking are locks is Slash, Bishop. I like Old Hob quite a bit. Armagon, the shark, is pretty cool. I like to have a lot of villains, and then Cuddly the Cowlick. I will fight hard for Cuddly. I know I'll probably lose that fight, but I will fight hard for Cuddly.
I will tell you that I agree with one of them.
Okay.
That would be Slash.
Yeah, Slash is so cool.
Yeah,
He is
kind of
so
pushing
cool.
forward slash two, so you might just stop him in there.
Okay, so we all
Yeah.
agree on Slash then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Slash. He usually gets associated with the Mutanimals. Uh, he usually starts as a villain until he kind of realizes he's being manipulated, and there's a lot of stories where he sacrifices himself for everybody else. He's just that cool villain turned hero, your Dinobot type character from Transformers. Just a cool character.
Yeah. Now, if I may say, now this one might be a little early. This one might be a hot take. I think we are now at the point where it's all personal preference. You know what I mean? I know you said you said you had a couple more locks. I think like objectively, Slash was the last one, and now we're in personal preference territory.
Yeah, I mean, I could argue Metalhead would probably be just part of the mythos that we always see, even though
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
think he's the most exciting character. But the rest of these, we're getting more into fringe territory where a lot of these were not in every continuity, except for maybe Fugitoid. But we'll see about Fugitoid.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on Fugitoid either. I think he is important, but if you
That that's the thing. Are we doing this based off of impact or based off of like do we even like this character? Because if we're talking about impact, then yeah, Fugitoid. But like I don't
do you
necessarily
want
like
your
it.
when you want this AI robot telling stories to your great grandchildren, which characters do you want included? And which ones are forgettable?
Yeah, they don't. I mean, I'm bored every time Fugitoid shows up. So
I mean,
as a
these are the questions you have to ask. Yeah.
all right, yeah, yeah. When I was a kid, 2003, Honeycutt was the most boring character ever.
So I will tell you that I love the Mutanimals, but I include Jaguar and Dreadmon just because they're there. They are not the most exciting characters.
Okay.
So I would they're not. If I'm saving some Mutanimals, but not all, those are the two that are getting the cut. You know.
I'm glad you mentioned that because part of me thought that putting Sam Rockwell, I was like desecrating the process, but like even you put ones on here that are like, yeah, there's no way they're making it.
I like the characters, but there's only 11 spots, so
Mhm.
they're not making it.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and say this one thing. I know Sam Rockwell's not making it. Of course, he's not making it.
So
But let me talk.
let's.
Let me talk about him real quick, just because I need.
Okay.
So he is the head thug. He is in two scenes of the Turtles movie.
Yeah.
He offers cigarettes, and then whenever Casey beats the crap out of Tatsu, um, and then all the kids like come up try to back up Tatsu. Casey's like, "What are you guys doing? What is this?" And Sam Rockwell's like, "I mean, we're family." And then
You
Casey's
call
like,
this family?
"You call this family? You call all this here?" And then points to Tatsu. He's like, "You call that over there family?" So, and the thing is me and my friends, like we all love that first movie. We quote Sam Rockwell's character so much. So I
So
had to put him here because, like, it's for my friends because we are always quoting him.
all right. So I'm gonna speed this up a little bit more.
Yeah,
Cerebus and Flaming Carrot, they're not making it. They're
I
fun,
agree.
but
I
but
agree.
they're not gonna make it. And then my next debate would be we have two nobodies on here. Not saying that one of them's gonna make it. I've broken this. Hold on. Let's see. Quit moving, everybody. All right. I promise I know how to use a computer. Um, all right, so I'll cut him and then move
Okay,
her over
so
there.
if we're looking to completely cut one nobody now and save the other one for as like at least a maybe we can debate,
Uh,
the original nobody is the one that I would cut.
okay.
because that's the one I honestly don't know a whole lot about original
I just
robot.
remember he's a cop. That's all I remember.
um, we may cut Asuka as well. I like the idea, but I also agree that she is just in that game. I'd love for her to come back. You give me a turtle story, I'll bring her back. I'll make her IDW canon. But
Yeah.
yes.
Okay.
So you can just
All
pop out
right.
the Rangers too.
So I think that helps some.
Let's see. Okay. Let me ask this, okay?
Yeah.
How do you feel about Sherelle?
I love Sherelle, but if I had to pick between him and Orokusaki, I'm picking Orokusaki. Like, there's
I'm kind of with you on that.
yeah. Um, I mean,
By the way,
IDW tried to make him a different character, like a separate character, where he was just an evil Utrom that they unfroze, and he kind of
I
went
didn't
on a
care
little
for that.
rampage. I
Yeah.
didn't either. I thought they kind of ruined the character. There's a lot of stuff in that last story.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they ruined that. But like him and Agent Bishop, I think they kind of did wrong in IDW.
hmm
So,
Um.
um, I love Ho Chan, but he's only been in one thing
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
ever.
Hold
Okay.
on. Hold on. Hold on.
All right.
Let's not get hasty. I
Okay.
I didn't think of Ho Chan. I definitely, even if we both agreed on Ho Chan originally, I don't think he's a lock. But but I think
He's a lot of fun. He is
he's
so
still a
much fun.
maybe.
And if you read his there's like a Wikipedia entry in the episode. And if you read it, it's all about his hat being too big, and it is so funny. So
Let's break this down. Let's go ahead and get rid of Danny and Charles, even though I love the. Hold on.
I just love the picture I found of them.
No, it's great. It's great. So allow me to talk Danny and Charles real quick. I think when it comes to stuff like this, usually your human characters that you make up for a movie are not that good. I think these characters, for being movie original, kind of hold their own. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean
like
they made a toy of Danny. You know,
yeah,
we
like
did get a toy. So
and then I think I would cut Sherelle before I cut Ho-Chan.
okay. I'm
Do you?
not there yet.
You're not there
I'm
yet.
thinking
Okay.
about it. I'm thinking about
Okay.
it.
Okay. Well, then let's move on to nominating more. If I may, I would like to bring it back to Venus.
We've got
Think about the redemption, man, because we took a
18,
character
14,
that
18.
like really sucked in the next mutation that everyone hates, and then we made her an actual interesting character in the comics. We didn't forget about her, we didn't leave her behind, and gosh darn it, neither would this AI. Okay, I've got one. I've got one right now.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tatsu and Hun would be on the same list. I think they're the same character.
Yeah, and I think Hun is the more interesting. Although 2012 made Tatsu really cool, where he was a blind swords master.
Yes, I agree. I agree. But if we were just down to Tatsu from the movie and 2012 to Hun from 2003, I think they're even. I think IDW puts Hun over the top.
I agree. Him being Casey's father, drunk, abusive, it's a heck of a story.
Yep.
So, yeah. Okay. I would cut Max Winters. I don't think, other than being a representative of that movie, he's not that interesting.
So I agree and disagree. I agree that I wanted him on here because I wanted representation and I wanted a chance to talk about this film. And I do think that the character is interesting because even though he is quote unquote the main villain, the only reason he is doing his plan is because he personally wants to die, which I find interesting. However, I'll also agree that maybe he doesn't belong on the top 25.
Okay, so
So
do we want to cut
yeah,
him?
we
Okay.
can cut him.
All right, I think we're starting to get somewhere.
Talk to me about Bishop because, like, even in the 2003 show, I didn't really like him.
I think Bishop's cool because even though I hate fast forward, that's when the show jumped 100 years into the future, and I was so excited for fast forward, but they dumbed down the show so much. It is cool that Agent Bishop is still around at that point, and he's the president of the United States at that point, and he's kind of a ally to the Turtles.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he has an interesting redemption arc somewhere in there. And he usually is teaming up with Baxter Stockman, which is fun. I love
Yeah.
the 2003 series where Baxter was constantly losing body parts until he was just a brain in a jar, and Shredder and Bishop were both mistreating him.
Yeah.
Uh,
I guess my thing with Bishop is Bishop does have that role of being like just the human character because, like, I mean, you could say that Shredder is also a human character, but Shredder's a little different. He's more of an idea, you know. So Bishop kind of feels that like, oh, this is what a human would do against the Turtles. I think Baxter Stockman just kind of fills that role. And then we could say, well, Bishop is the government,
yeah, I
but
think it adds another
Yeah.
a faction to the group. Like you got the Foot Clan, you got Rat King, you got Bishop's group, you have Null's group, you have these different factions, which I think makes
yeah,
it more interesting when it's not just the Foot Clan every week. That's
kind
just
of.
me.
Kind of, but I'm not. I guess for me, like, I'm not entirely sold on the Turtles versus the government. I've never really been sold on that.
Okay, we can come back to him. I mean,
Yeah,
he's basically
yeah,
Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black.
yeah,
With
yeah.
what he is.
Um. Okay.
Okay, I'll give one that I think could be cut. One of mine. I
Okay.
love Harold. But I don't think he is top 25 characters.
Okay.
Uh, he's a fun, cranky. He plays off Donatello very well. This old hippie. And he's not always on the turtle's side. Sometimes he's like, "You guys are wrong. I'm out. I'm not doing this." So he's a fun foil for Donatello. And you think into all the Darius Dunn character is like his, I guess, enemy. I don't like Darius Dunn. He's another fast forward character they tried to salvage. Um, so I could. It's obtuse of me to say, but I could get rid of Harold. That's what he always says. He always uses the word obtuse the wrong way. So, um, I don't know. I could lose Harold. There's other characters I'd rather keep over Harold. I'll put it that way.
Okay. How connected are you to Ninjara?
Man, Ninjara was part of that. The Archie comics were like my childhood, and so she was like the fifth turtle. Like she was always there, part of the group. And I don't know. I don't think they quite captured the magic and IDW of those old Archie comics. Like Alopex, their version is cool, but she doesn't. She's not quite Ninjara, if I had to put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And they played Alopex more as this brainwashed villain who's slowly falling in love with Raphael. And I don't know if they ever got there. Like Ninjara and Raphael's relationship is tragic. I mean, when they break up at the end of the Archie comics, it is sad. And I'm just a big
If
fan
I
of the
may,
character. Yes.
she also sure. She does. You know what? I don't want to introduce this argument because if I introduce this argument, we lose a lot of characters then. Because the art is she only appeared in Archie and IDW, and you even said yourself you don't really like her in IDW. But like I said, I
Well,
don't want to introduce that argument because we lose a lot of characters if we do that.
and I think, and I may be wrong on this, I think there's a rights issue where the creator of Ninjara didn't want them using her. They'd have to pay, so that's why they created Alopex instead. It's just their version of Ninjara. But now Ninjara's back in the latest issue, so I don't know what happened there. But so I don't want to speak wrong about that situation.
Okay.
Two
How,
more
how
characters. Yeah, go ahead.
how many do we need right now? Like right now we're just cutting.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 7 characters left to pull
Okay.
in. So I mean that's why I'm kind of cutting because we've still got 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22 characters. So we got to cut 15 characters.
Let's go ahead and add. Like
Okay.
instead of what do you think about Hun?
I'll give you Han. I think he is. It's fun to have like a leader of the foot soldiers. Yeah, I'm fine. Fun.
Okay.
All right. So we'll go ahead and add him. Boink. All right.
Anybody else that you can think of that like maybe adding?
I think they're an important part of the mythos when you do your Turtles in Time stories, but I could lose Renee and Savanti Romero. That's
Okay.
I mean, to me, they're a big part of the mythos, but again, there's other characters I would keep before I.
Well,
them.
like I said, I want to, like, we've done a lot of cutting. Let's do some adding.
Okay.
Give me one mutanimal.
Ray Fillet in
All right.
Heartbeat.
Ray
He's my
Fillet.
favorite. I just, but I know he's not everybody's favorite, but he's my favorite.
All right. And so has that gotten us to 5 more? Is that where we're at now?
I think so. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, 19, 20. Yeah. So we're down to the final 5.
Okay. Cool.
And I'm
Jonathan,
gonna start kind of just moving the screen around how I'm just kind of ranking them in my head.
Sure.
So,
Jonathan, with your knowledge, is there anyone else on here that like I assume you don't know much about the mutanimals. If I'm being completely honest, neither do I. At least like the like Ray Fillet is the one I know probably the most about. Anyone else on here that like in your head you think like, oh, this character should probably be there?
I'm thinking between Raph's girlfriend, her name, and then
Ninjara.
Yeah, Ninjara and the cat.
Old Hob.
Yeah,
Old
between
Hob.
those two.
I love both of those characters, but again, they were my picks. So
yeah. Okay.
You get arguments for both, but honestly, if I had to pick one of those two, I'd probably pick Old Hob just because there seems to be a bit more of a storytelling element there.
He's a brand new character introduced in IDW, so I don't think he's been in any other continuities. But he's kind of like he's related to their story because he got in the same mutagen they did. He was just an alley cat. He starts out as he's just an alley cat, so he's kind of stupid, but he's getting smarter and smarter as he grows, and he hates the humans for what they've done to him, the experiments they've done on him, and so he ends up detonating a mutant bomb that turns New York, like a section of New York, into a mutant city where it mutates everybody. And so he's like a terrorist, and the mutanimals are trying to be heroic, but anytime he takes control of them, he kind of turns them into a terrorist group. And so the mutanimals in this continuity, they're kind of torn between: are we allies to the turtles? Are we a anti-human group? And so anytime Old Hob takes control, he usually leads them down the wrong path. Slash was kind of the co-leader, and Slash, at first he's just kind of a lackey, but he becomes more and more of no, the Mutanimals need to be a noble group, and so they're constantly fighting Old Hob and Slash are. So that's Old Hob. Who was the other character? Ninjara. We've kind of talked about her.
Yeah.
She's.
I think if I may, just to concede, he is a newer character. I went ahead and looked it up. He hasn't appeared in anything else. He's just in. But I think if they were to put him in anything else, I think he would be a welcome addition. I will concede Old Hob.
Yeah, I think he has a lot of potential for future stories.
Okay. Thinking about how the AI robot's going to tell stories.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'll go ahead and move Ninjara up there since we've been talking about her, and I'll move. I think Armagon is fun. He hasn't had that many stories. Why do I keep doing that? So I'll tell you this with Null. Null is a Mutanimal villain. In the original, he's a guy in the so he only shows up in their stories. There was supposed to be a Mutanimals cartoon in the 80s, and the deal fell through. He was going to be the main villain on the cartoon. So they're, he's like one of those characters that had a lot of potential but never quite lived up to the potential. And he's strictly attached to the Mutanimals. He's just their shredder, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he sells out the Earth to the aliens. Like he's like sells them the planet. Like, you can invade this planet. We'll remove our protection from the planet. And that's basically his story. So if you're going to cut somebody, I get it. If you cut Null, but if this was a Mutanimals list, he would be an absolute. But this is not a Mutanimals list. This is a Ninja Turtles list.
Well, I mean, if this was a Mutanimal, that's like, should we put Shredder on this list? I don't know.
Yeah, Shredder has nothing to do with the Mutanimals, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it personally. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're not. I mean, if y'all want to cut Null, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm not on board, honestly. I think there's.
Yeah. So we're down to needing the final 4 at this point, right? Old Hob makes 21.
I want to submit honestly, because what characters do we have locked in again?
Right there.
So we've added Leatherhead, Rat King, Slash, Ultimate Ninja or Uesama, Hun, Ray Fillet, and Old Hob. So 3 of the Mutanimals made it in. Well, I guess 4 if you count Old Hob.
So I really believe that we're going to need at least one wacky character.
Okay.
And I think Aaron knows where I'm going with this one.
There's 2 people. Yes, Godly.
We need to cut the cowhead, because that storytelling element is just
it's so good. Much fun. And if you're not going to do the Triceratons and Fugitoid, at least do Cuddly, taking them through space. It's so much fun.
And honestly, I think with that being said, how do we feel about Traximus and Fugitoid are out?
I'm fine with that. I mean, we did say there are generic Triceratons. I'm totally okay with these 2.
Yeah.
Sorry, Fugitoid. I know you're an important character, but
can I be honest? I am so glad, because I thought we were gonna have to fight about Fugitoid.
I mean, he did make our. So let's go look at our Smash list. He did make the Smash list. I just thought, for character representation, it made sense.
I think as like a battle robot, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think now we're down to 3 more. If I may say, out of all of these, I'm willing to give up the rest of my choices. Okay. I need Venus, man. Like I'm willing to give up the Power Rangers. I'm willing to give up Chrome Dome. Uh, like Venus is my pick.
All right. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 18, 19, 20, 21,
I
22, 23. All right, so there's
I
2 left.
I just wanted an excuse to talk about the Mighty Mutant Power Rangers. That's why I wanted to. I just wanted to talk about that
Yeah,
cool
they're
story.
definitely they're off my list. They don't. They seem
Well,
like
let
a
me
gimmicky one-off
let me tell you
story.
who I think are our final people really
Okay.
is probably this top row. I think everybody else is probably cut.
I can agree with that.
Okay. Because I like Chrome Dome, but I mean, they have never really done anything with him. Although he is the villain in this new Ninja Turtle short cartoon that they just released, but it's like a totally different version of Chrome Dome.
So let me go ahead and of these that we have on the top row, if it were up to my choice and I did not have to consult either of you whatsoever, I would go Metalhead and Ho-Chan. That's where I right. Very interesting.
I
yes.
would. My 3 would be Armagon,
2.
Ninjara. I know, but I'm just saying if I had 3, if I had 3, it would be Armagon, Ninjara, and Mondo Gecko. I love these 2 characters, but I would be choosing from these 5.
So Wingnut and Bishop are out then.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Like I said, I will not be fighting too hard because I got Venus, and I recognize that is I'm not fighting too hard on that. Allow me to submit Metalhead one more time. Metalhead's cool.
I'm not arguing. I just don't. I mean, he has 2 stories. Donatello becomes Metalhead, and Metalhead goes berserk.
Okay.
Mondo Gecko is a very fun character, although we do have Michelangelo, who is very much Mondo Gecko. Other than Mondo Gecko being like
if anything, I would say
rock star.
maybe we would do Mondo Gecko as Mikey's best buddy, and Ninjara as Raph's girlfriend, since Donnie's going to have April in there.
If I may, can we all agree that? Well, okay. I'm gonna. The way I was about to say it made me think I wanted to cut him. I don't want to cut him. Ho-Chan is so fun, and the fact that he only has 1 episode just speaks to how fun he is, and I think he could, even amongst these 5, make the top 25.
I don't want to argue with you because I love Ho-Chan, but it's the fact that he's only on 1 episode out of the hundreds and hundreds of Ninja Turtle episodes and movies and comic books.
But that's how good it is. That's how good he is.
I know. He's so good.
Okay. Well, how about this? I think we're all out on Metalhead and Gecko.
I think so. I love both of those characters, but I'm fighting hard for Ninjara because I think that character is important.
So
here's the
thing. I'm not saying that this is it because I'm not saying Ho-Chan is a lock. But between Ninjara and I can't remember his name.
Armagon.
Between Ninjara and Armagon. I'm not saying that's the lock, but you would pick Ninjara. So if I were to pitch Ho-Chan and Ninjara, what would you say to that?
Ninjara.
No. I mean, like as the last, because we need 2 more, right?
Oh, you're saying that's the last 2. Armagon is one of those villains that I think has a lot of potential and he's almost there.
I want to see
He
Armagon interact with the cow head.
So,
uh,
if I may say this, then uh, I'll go ahead and put Ninjar on there because now we're between Armagon and Ho-Chan.
Yeah.
So what we have is we have Ho-Chan, who has only appeared once, but got it right 100%. And then we have Armagon, who's appeared a couple times and can never quite get it right.
he's
Yeah.
really cool. He's the evil shark from the future where the whole world has been flooded, the polar ice caps have melted, the turtles have kind of lost in the future, and he's like their main. Like if Shredder's their threat in the present, Armagon's their threat from the future. Like he's their main baddie in the future. Armagon's appeared in the Archie comic, the 2012 cartoon as an evil space shark with a cyborg body, and then I think he's in the IDW comic. I haven't read those issues yet, and he was in the fighting game that Asuki or whatever her name was
Asuka,
from.
and that's where I
Asuka.
know it. That's actually where I know him from.
Yeah, I mean, the turtle purist in me wants to pick Armagon, but I do like Ho-Chan a lot. So
So
I'm willing to concede Ho-Chan.
yeah, well, and like you get you get my perspective where like so I'm not too familiar with Armagon. I'm going based off of what you said, and what you said was they've never really quite got it, which I think the fact that they got Ho-Chan right from the beginning.
Here is the thing about the Archie comics, the Adventures comics. I love them. They are great. There was a falling out between the writer and the editor. At the time, Archie comics were super strict about what they would allow in their comics. Now that's totally different compared to modern day Archie, where apparently anything goes. But at the time, they wanted to do a character, and I think he actually is in some of the final issues. It's a robot that has the brain of a certain German bad guy that we can't say on YouTube. And this was kind of the final straw. They're like, no, you can't use that character. So the writer said, fine, I quit. And they canceled the comic book right away. They were like, it's over, and canceled it. And so the stories are unfinished. I think there was a great Armagon story coming that we never quite got. Like, it's like the story just, and there is a comic book, an unofficial comic book out there that some of the original creators kind of came back and finished called Forever War that I really want to buy, but it's like $100 where I think it finishes the story. So yeah, I think Armagon has a lot of potential. They just never got to finish the story.
Okay, gotcha.
Ho-Chan is a done in one episode. If you never get another episode, his whole story is done, and it was a lot of fun. So I'll put him that way.
So let me ask you this then. So for me, I am I'm leaning more Ho-Chan because I have no connection to Armagon, right? You are you kind of in between, like one or the other?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if I was just going strictly Turtle Comics, Turtle Purist, Armagon gets in, but I think Ho-Chan is way more fun, but it also feels like we're kind of stealing a character from another continuity. He's kind of like a guest star character.
Kind of, in a way, yeah.
A parody of another character.
Sure, kind of. So then how about this? Because I have a feeling, Jonathan, what say you between these two characters? Based off of what we've said.
I'm conflicted because from a storytelling perspective, I can see both of them having their merits.
So when Ho-Chan showed up, I'll just say this: when Ho-Chan showed up, I mean, they straight up just did Big Trouble in Little China. He took 3 of the Purple Dragon gang members, made them Thunder and Lightning and Wind or whatever their names are, with the big basket hats. And I mean, they
It was
literally
great.
did.
Yeah, which
They
that's very
literally did
fun, but
Big
that's
Trouble in
also
Little China.
It's great.
that's also one note and gimmicky in my opinion.
True, but at the end he's like, "I'll be back," and then they never used him again, and
Yeah.
it felt like, you know, there's something they could have done more with the
Yeah.
character. Just like
Mhm.
they should be doing more of Big Trouble in Little China, and they don't. So
If I may say, one note and gimmicky, absolutely. What's wrong with that? Like that's you are
Well,
absolutely
because
right. Give me
we
more.
already kind of have that with
well,
the cow head. I'm just saying.
well, there's a lot of story potential with the cowhead. I'll tell you that. Let me word it this way. I could tell more stories of Armagon than I can with Ho-Chan.
Yeah, that's where I'm kind of leading. Like I said, that's what I mean by one note. It's like you can only go kind of one direction with Ho-Chan,
Oh, I could.
whereas
I could definitely like if we're going with like, I feel like what you could do with Ho Chan is every time he comes back, he's got a different plan, and it's a different martial arts movie. Like you bring back Ho Chan, and it's Kung Fu Hustle. You know?
Yeah, or Enter the Dragon or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is if you watch that 2012 series, they take a lot of characters and turn them into like Chuck Norris or Bruce Lee, like Dog
mhm,
Pound, which we did not include on here. His Chris Bradford was Chuck Norris basically,
Yeah.
and I think Hun was turned into a Bruce Lee type character on there. Oh, we didn't even put Tiger Claw on here. What are we doing? Anyhow,
You darn right we
he
didn't.
well, he wouldn't have made my top 25, but you know, um, yeah, we didn't put Dog Pound or Razor or Toka. There's a lot of characters. Like I said, I mean
I
we're already
feel like
coming up on 2 hours, but I
I,
think we did a good
I
job of pruning it down to a
if I
reasonable
put
list.
if I put on Toka and Razor, I feel like I would be shunned. So
I'm
like
surprised when you didn't, honestly.
more so than Venus. I feel like Toka and Razor would get even more
All right,
shunned.
so I'm gonna get a little sidetracked before we make our final decision. Turtles 2 and 3, the movies, were so close to being masterpieces. Turtles 2,
I really
the
like
stu-
Turtles too, actually.
I do, but I think there's potential there.
Yeah.
Two big problems, or three kind of. The parents complained that the first movie was too violent, and so the turtles are not allowed to use their weapons in the second movie. They're constantly hitting the
Which
bad guys with hot dogs and stuff, and
it's
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 dumb.
it's one of those things, kind of like Spider-Man is not allowed to throw a punch in the cartoon. It's one of
Yeah,
those things where like your first watch you don't notice it, but then once someone tells you, then
you're like,
that's all
oh
you can
yeah.
notice.
The other thing was, why didn't they use Bebop and Rocksteady? And even if you don't use Bebop and Rocksteady, the biggest sin the movie has is I'm forgetting the professor's name. The one
Was
that
not Baxter Stockman.
no, I was to say that he's not an Utrom. If all you do
Oh,
is just have a scene where he pulls the shirt open and reveals there's an Utrom in there, that movie would have been so much cooler. It would have made a lot more sense. It'd be closer to what happened in comic books with the Utroms being the source of the ooze. It would have made a whole lot more sense. And you've got I just wanted to see what Jim Henson and his group would have done with that. And then Turtles 3, where's Renee and Savante Romero? If you did those two things and made them closer to the comic storylines, those would have been way better movies, and you would have like one of the best trilogies ever made. That's just me. All right. I'm so torn on this.
well, I
I
mean,
Like I
let's
appreciate
let's
the
say
argument
this.
of you can have Lo Chan come back and do different kung fu things, but that was never established. That would be a conjecture at that point.
it is, but I think what it
I
comes down
I
to is the fact that we've done Armagon so many times and still like not like
okay.
still not mainstay. Which
So
once again, like Ho Chan is my pick, but I am also fine with whatever you guys pick because I got Venus. So
so I'm gonna say my vote is Armagon. Caleb's
all right.
vote is Ho Chan. This is why we have Jonathan here. Jonathan, what's your pick?
Hmm, boy, this is. Uh,
And I'll say this about Ho Chan: if you were going to do Pantheon stories, he could fit in very well at the Pantheon.
Oh,
Where's the gods
that'd be
fighting
dope.
over? different things. He could even be the one they're fighting over his power.
That'd be
Yeah.
dope.
So I mean, I think there is a spot for him. So
Hmm.
I'll just throw that out there. Armagon is kind of like this. He's kind of like your Days of Future Past villain. He's the future that they're trying to avoid. He's this evil shark from the future, and
Hmm.
where the world has been destroyed, the turtles have lost, and he kind of represents that.
Yeah. think I think I'm just gonna have to go Armagon just because the element there's tons of present storytelling already, and that the future storytelling element to me just it makes it a bit more interesting. I think
All right.
gives it a bit more
So
depth.
there's our group. It's similar but very different from our Smash Brothers list. So we'll just run through this. We got Leatherhead, April, Donnie and Raph, Splinter, Leo and Mike, Casey and Slash, Rat King, Usagi Ojimbo, Krang, Bebop, Shredder, Rocksteady, Karai, Baxter Stockman, Ui-sama, the Ultimate Ninja. Man, I need to go back and rewatch those episodes.
So fun fact.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you remember the juice box? Like, this is before kids could like just watch things on the phone. I actually had a thing called a juice box where I had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartridge, and it was this episode. So
okay.
I watched this episode all the time.
Gotcha. So he's kind of like your Ray Fillet.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I get it. Then we got Hun, Ray Fillet, Old Hob, which is just a great villain. My boy Cuddly the Cowlick, Venus, Ninjara, and Armagon. I think it's a solid list.
I think so as well. There's not one on here that I'm completely upset with.
Yeah.
It's like this is a solid list that Turtle Soup will hate.
I get it. Yeah. So, and we made it tough. We only had 25. I think with G.I. Joe we did 50 characters.
I think so.
And
yeah.
But I think once you get into 50 characters, I just realized I left somebody else off this list or off the roster,
and it's fine.
She was supposed to be a choice. Was Tang, Splinter's wife? I think she's an important character, but she could be a nameless person, and it doesn't change anything. It's Splinter had a wife.
Yeah.
The AI can make up a new character. It's fine. Nothing would be lost. I'm not saying she's not an important character. She's very important in the IDW stories. Man, the IDW stories are so good. Leonardo gets brainwashed into becoming leader of the Foot Clan, and it is the spirit of his deceased mom that pulls him out of it. She keeps appearing.
Oh, I do remember that. That is really cool. I remember that one.
Yeah. IDW, so good. Okay, so first 100 issues of IDW it is quintessential, the best Ninja Turtle story ever, and after that it kind of falls apart. I haven't read the new stuff by Jason Aaron and all the new stuff. It might get better, but man,
I like Jason Aaron.
I do too. Those first 100 issues, they were cooking. It kind of falls apart after issue 75-ish, but yeah, it's really good. So that's our list, and if you want to compare it to the Smash Brothers list, that one had a Fugitoid and a Triceraton. We had the Last Ronin, Wingnut, Screw Loose, but the rest is pretty much the same.
Which I mean, technically, we have the Last Ronin on our list too.
Yeah, technically.
I thought about the brothers, but I'm like, that's 4 slots.
We have to fight for 3 out of the 4. Dude, so
yeah, and we were thinking Smash Brothers. You always have that weird character that's hard to unlock. Last Ronin would be cool, and then here Cuddly would be your weird character. That's not.
He's Mr. Game and Watch.
Yeah. So that's our list. we encourage you to tell us where we got it wrong in the
Please,
comments.
absolutely. Come at me. Come at me for
So now,
Venus. Do it. I'm right here.
so now we do have a kind of a serious announcement. We are going to be bringing Culture Shark to a close. There will be 5 more episodes after this, and it is going to go bi-weekly. And the fact of the matter is, we've been doing this for a few years, and we've had some videos that caught on, but not the success that we were hoping for. So the other thing is the YouTube algorithm is really against us. The type of channel we have, it does not like live streams, and especially does not like channels that are not focused on one
Yeah.
particular thing. We focus on comic books and video games and movies and books and TV, and YouTube does not like that at all.
We'd have to do
So
like a comic book shark and a video game shark and a movie shark.
yeah,
And
we discussed, is there a way for the channel to move forward to where it could be successful? And like Caleb just said, we would have to split this off into several smaller channels. And Jonathan helps us every now and then, but it's really just the two of us who also have full-time jobs, and it just was not feasible, especially with all the other stuff going on in our lives, that to keep the channel running. We do enjoy doing it, but there will be 5 more episodes.
and it's
Yeah.
we decided we wanted the final 6 episodes, including this one, to kind of like encapsulate the channel over the past couple of years. So like we love doing Lifeboat, so here's the last Lifeboat,
Yeah. Then I'll go ahead and read through the list. In 2 weeks, we'll be doing Aliens versus Avengers. This is a comic series we've been talking about doing for quite a while. It's finally on Marvel Unlimited. Then we're going to do He Made Me Do It, where we both pick a movie for the other person to watch. We haven't decided on what those movies are yet. Then we're going to look.
That was kind of our original. That was like how He Made Me Do is kind of like our original ongoing series. So like we definitely needed to do one more.
Yeah. Then we're going to take a look at all the comic book stories that we have read, and we're going to rank them. Here's your must read, your essentials. Here's the ones that we think are hot garbo, like Red Hulk.
Red Hulk here.
Yeah. Then we're going to do a discussion of DS9 versus Babylon 5. Caleb made me watch Babylon 5. Caleb I don't know if he started yet, but he's supposed to be watching Deep Space Nine.
I've watched the first episode. Essentially, the way we're doing this is so he watched Babylon 5 just because like I told him he should watch it, and then he did. The reason I'm watching Deep Space Nine, because over the past couple of years he has tried to get me to like Star Trek, and this is what I've heard is like every time people try to get me to watch Star Trek, even like before the show when I was in my early 20s, people are like, well, you would love Deep Space Nine. And so I'm giving Deep Space Nine an earnest shot. This is the last ditch effort to make me like Star Trek.
Yeah, and he's not watching every single episode unless he chooses to. We've kind of given him a list of these are the episodes that are important to the story. These are the good episodes. You just skip the lousy episodes.
We did that. We kind of did that with TNG, but it was only 10 episodes. That's not the case with Deep Space Nine. It's like 80 episodes with Deep Space Nine.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be a lot. And I'm going to be watching them also, rewatching. I mean, I've seen Deep Space Nine all the way through like 8 times. I love it. So this will be our last chance to convert Caleb to a Trekkie. So we're trying. And then our final show, and again, Jonathan, any of these you want to jump in on, you're more than welcome to. We're going to loop back to what our very first episode was, I believe, and we're going to rank the Marvel movies. Now, this means I have to watch all the Marvel movies that I have skipped, which is going to be very painful.
That is what I asked of him. I said, if we're gonna do this, I want it to be a legit list. Like, we're not doing the shows or anything. You don't have to watch the shows, but you can't have, because he had a tier in our last list where it's like, I just didn't watch this. No, if we're gonna do this, you can't have a didn't watch this tier list.
So these are the movies I have skipped. I have skipped Black Widow. I have skipped Captain Marvel and the Marvels. I skipped Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, what it's called. I have not seen Quantumania. I have not seen Captain America and the Red Hulk or whatever it's called. I have not seen Thunderbolts. I have not seen Fantastic Four. So I got a lot of movies I need to watch.
The Eternals?
Caleb has made me watch the Eternals. I have seen that.
I have made him watch Eternals, yes.
And
you haven't watched pages 4 and 5.
What's that? Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Basically, other than Spider-Man and Guardians of the Galaxy and Deadpool, I've skipped most of.
I will say, out of those, I mean, those are all kind of the bad ones. I don't think the Marvels is horrible. I just think it's nothing. It's just whatever.
What I haven't seen is the Marvels.
The one that I'm like, yeah, this is really good, and I will say you will have to go into it with a different mindset, because you had me read the comic, and it's really good, and you loved it, and I loved it, but just take the movie on its own. Man, Thunderbolts is so good.
And I've heard that Eternals. I said this on the show. I think Eternals has always been a flawed concept. There's never been a hit comic book. I think that should have been a Marvel show instead of a movie. It needed time to go over those subjects. Not saying it still would have been great, but it should definitely been a show over a movie.
I've had people tell me that before, and my argument against that is always like, dude, I didn't like it when it was 2 hours. I don't want to watch 8 hours.
Again, but it is not something that should be a 2-hour movie. That it's too big of a story. You need time to develop all
30 to 45-minute episodes with each focusing on each individual member.
Sure. And
the last one's like an hour and a half finale or something.
And not to get off on a tangent, because this is the end of the episode, but not to get off on a tangent, I personally have always said that a good artist can tell any story in an hour and a half. So, like, if Chloe Zhang can't tell that story in 2 hours, I don't think she could tell the story in 8 hours.
Well, Neil Gaiman couldn't do the story with 8 issues. Like, he was the closest to a decent Eternal story we've had, and
that's true.
So I will say this, and I haven't really talked to Caleb about this. We are ending the channel, but that doesn't mean you've heard The Last of Us. We may pop in when there's a new Marvel movie and just do it as a special episode. But we're done. We're done with the weekly grind. This is it. We know that, unless these old episodes all of a sudden just come back a massive hit, like all of a sudden YouTube just discovers it, and I don't. It's not worth the grind every week. So it just feels like it's time.
Yeah, and I mean, I also think like we're kind of moving on to our own projects. Like, you're working on that trivia book. I'm trying to get back into writing my second album. So our creative juices are definitely flowing.
Yeah, my trivia book has over 200 questions right now, and it's going to cover a lot of stuff that we talk about on the show, from movies to comic books to Snoopy to Ninja Turtles to everything. It's going to be a lot of fun. So my real life has been very hectic. I've had a lot going on, but I'm still plugging away at that book when I find time. So there's just a lot going on, and I love doing the show, but it's time. It is definitely time to move on. So that was our show. Again, let us know what you liked or didn't like of our picks for the TMNT Lifeboat.
Come at me for Venus. Come at me.
Yeah, the Mona Lisa fans are mad at us for skipping Mona and going for Venus, so they're going to be after us. And then even the Lotus fans, there's a lot of Leonardo or Raphael love interests that are out there that we could have put on the list. So
And Jenica fans are nowhere to be seen.
cricket. All right. That's our show. So tune in 2 weeks. And till then, I've been Final Monkey.
And I'm Caleb.
Richard 85.
And we'll catch you next time in the deep end.
See ya.